How well do you truly know the people closest to you? The ones you trust with your heart, your secrets, and your life. Elaine Monroe thought she knew. She believed in love, loyalty, and the family values that defined her life. But sometimes, trust can be a dangerous thing. Elaine Monroe was a woman of quiet strength, a pillar of resilience who overcame life's challenges with grace. Born into modest circumstances, she learned early on that nothing in life comes easy. Determined to rise above her humble beginnings, Elaine dedicated herself to creating a life filled with opportunity and stability. But her journey was not without sacrifices, heartbreak, and ultimately betrayal. When Elaine passed away at 67, she left behind more than just memories. What she left behind shattered her family and revealed a story no one could have imagined. A $1.7 million life insurance policy wasn't bequeathed to her husband or daughter, but instead to an unexpected individual. This decision unearthed a betrayal so deep it sent shockwaves through her loved ones. Elaine's silence had concealed a devastating truth, a reality that wouldn't emerge until it was too late. Her choices, her heartbreak, and her pursuit of justice revealed a tale demanding to be told. And at the heart of it all, one burning question remains: why? Stay with us as we uncover the truth. Welcome to True Crime Story HQ. To my viewers and subscribers, thank you for your support as we continue to share compelling true crime stories. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel for more updates. Elaine Monroe's life was one of resilience. Born into modest circumstances, she learned early on the value of hard work and perseverance. Life never handed her anything easily. Every step forward was earned through sheer determination. Elaine's journey was one of reinvention, a story of a woman who refused to let her circumstances define her. In her early years, she married her first husband, believing they would share a lifetime together. They built a family and dreamed of a future rooted in love and stability. But life had other plans. Her husband's untimely death left her a young widow, raising their daughter Cassie alone, with no clear path forward. For years, Elaine worked tirelessly to provide for her only child. Rising through the ranks in the competitive real estate industry, her keen instincts and eye for detail brought her professional respect and financial stability. Despite her achievements, Elaine remained grounded, her values firmly rooted in family, trust, and honesty. Her love for Cassie was unwavering, and she poured her efforts into giving her daughter the opportunities she herself had lacked. But love and relationships are complex. Cassie, though pampered by Elaine's sacrifices, grew emotionally distant. While Elaine sought to instill gratitude and discipline, Cassie often saw her mother's actions as controlling. This tension created a fragile bond between them, one that Elaine constantly worked to strengthen, but always found elusive. And as years passed, Elaine sought companionship and found it in Marlon Jones, a charismatic man 13 years her junior. His energy and charm brought vitality back into her life, and for the first time in years, she felt seen. But Marlon's charm sometimes seemed too rehearsed, and small inconsistencies in his stories planted seeds of doubt. Yet Elaine chose to believe in him, hoping to rebuild the love she had lost. Simultaneously, her relationship with Cassie continued to deteriorate. Now an adult, Cassie craved attention and validation, but often failed to reciprocate her mother's love and efforts. Elaine, despite her frustration, remained hopeful that their bond could one day be repaired. But cracks began to show. Marlon's once captivating charm grew stale, and Cassie's behavior became increasingly defiant. Subtle signs of betrayal emerged: a lingering glance, shared laughter between Marlon and Cassie, and the unspoken tension that clouded their interactions. Elaine started to piece together a devastating truth. The two people she loved most had betrayed her trust. Elaine discovered their affair quietly, without confrontation. Instead, she made a decision that would alter her legacy. She changed the beneficiary of her life insurance policy to Althea Carter, her loyal maid and confidant of over 30 years. Althea had been a silent witness to Elaine's life, her struggles and her triumphs, and entrusting her with $1.7 million was an act of trust and a final declaration that loyalty still mattered. Elaine's health began to decline mysteriously. What started as fatigue and weight loss progressed into severe symptoms that doctors couldn't explain. Althea, ever observant, noticed unsettling behavior: Marlon's rehearsed concern, Cassie's indifference, and suspicious moments when Cassie added something to Elaine's tea. Though Althea lacked proof, her instincts told her something was amiss. When Elaine passed away, her family mourned, unaware of the secrets she had left behind. But Althea couldn't shake the unease that lingered, the feeling that Elaine's death was far from natural. The shock came when the life insurance policy was revealed. Althea, not Marlon or Cassie, was named the sole beneficiary. Marlon's grief, previously convincing, transformed into anger and confusion. Cassie, too, seemed uncharacteristically distressed, not out of loss, but out of betrayal. For them, Elaine's decision was incomprehensible, and they struggled to understand why she would exclude them. The answer lay in Elaine's quiet pursuit of justice. Elaine's posthumous decision ignited an investigation into her death. The autopsy report revealed traces of poison in her system, administered over an extended period. The discovery transformed Elaine's death from a tragedy into a criminal case, with her family at the center of suspicion. Investigators unraveled a chilling narrative of greed, manipulation, and betrayal. Cassie, initially defiant, eventually crumbled under scrutiny. The police, armed with Althea's testimony and forensic evidence, carefully questioned her. Overwhelmed by guilt and pressure, Cassie confessed to poisoning her mother. Her reasoning? Marlon. He had manipulated her, promising a future free from Elaine's control and filled with wealth and love. She detailed how Marlon had orchestrated the plan, convincing her to administer small doses of poison over time. Marlon, however, denied everything. He dismissed Cassie's confession as lies born out of desperation, maintaining his innocence even as evidence mounted against him. Text messages, financial transactions, and testimonies painted him as the mastermind behind Elaine's murder. His motive was clear: greed. As the investigation unfolded, Elaine's story became a cautionary tale. Her death, though tragic, exposed the depths of human greed and betrayal. Althea, the woman who had stood by her side for decades, became the unlikely hero of the story. Her loyalty ensured Elaine's truth was told and her legacy preserved. The trial of Marlon Jones and Cassie Monroe captivated the nation. Marlon, unrepentant, received a life sentence without parole. Cassie, consumed by guilt, was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Her remorse, though genuine, could never undo the harm she had caused. Elaine Monroe's life ended in pain, but her final actions ensured justice. By entrusting Althea with her legacy, she safeguarded her truth and sent a powerful message about the value of loyalty and integrity. Elaine's story, though tragic, is a testament to resilience and the enduring strength of justice. Wouldn't you like to subscribe to stay tuned to more interesting true crimes like this as you enjoy the documentary? As the days turned into weeks, Alia Carter found herself haunted by memories of Elaine's final months. Each moment, each action, and every decision replayed endlessly in her mind, amplifying her unease. These reflections painted a picture of small, seemingly inconsequential details that now screamed for attention. Why had Elaine fallen ill so suddenly? Why had her symptoms persisted and worsened despite medical care? And why did so many interactions around her seem veiled in secrecy? The unease in Ali's heart was soon replaced by shock when the autopsy report revealed the unthinkable. Elaine Monroe's death wasn't the result of a natural illness as everyone had believed. Instead, the report showed traces of poison in her system, a toxin that had been administered slowly, methodically, over an extended period. This revelation turned Elaine's tragic death into a chilling mystery, one that demanded answers. For Alia, the truth was both validating and horrifying. It confirmed what her instincts had whispered all along: something was terribly wrong. But it also left her with an overwhelming sense of duty. She could not remain silent. Gathering her courage, she approached the authorities, recounting everything she had observed during Elaine's prolonged illness. Alia described whispered conversations that abruptly stopped when she entered a room, unusual behaviors she couldn't ignore, and, most disturbingly, the sight of Cassie Monroe preparing Elaine's tea on several occasions. Her detailed account became the foundation of an investigation into a crime that had shattered the trust and love within Elaine's own family. Meanwhile, Elaine's husband, Marlon Jones, seemed eager to move on. As Elaine was laid to rest, Marlon outwardly appeared to grieve, shedding tears and speaking of the deep love he had for his wife. But behind this facade of mourning lay actions that betrayed his true priorities. Even before the investigation into her death was concluded, Marlon initiated the process of claiming Elaine's $1.7 million life insurance policy. For those who knew him, his haste was unsettling. To Marlon, however, this was the culmination of a long-standing plan, a plan that now began to unravel. Investigators wasted no time pursuing the leads provided by Alia and the evidence from the autopsy. The toxicology report confirmed that Elaine had been poisoned with a substance often found in common household products, but requiring precise knowledge to administer lethally over time. This revelation prompted a deeper probe into her final days. As detectives pieced together the puzzle, their focus turned to Elaine's closest family members, her daughter, Cassie Monroe, and her husband, Marlon. Under scrutiny, cracks began to form in their stories. Cassie was the first to face questioning. The investigators didn't confront her with accusations outright. Instead, they employed a subtle approach designed to pierce her defenses. They began by showing her old photographs of her and Elaine, images of birthdays, park outings, and quiet moments filled with love. These memories, laden with emotional weight, began to chip away at Cassie's resolve. At first, Cassie maintained her composure, insisting she had done nothing wrong. But as the questions grew more probing, her facade crumbled. The detectives pressed her gently but persistently. "You loved your mother, didn't you?" one asked, his tone soft yet firm. "She gave you everything. So why?" Cassie's defenses broke, her eyes filled with tears and her voice quivered as she confessed to poisoning her mother. She admitted to slipping small doses into Elaine's tea over months, a horrifying act she claimed to have done under Marlon's direction. Her confession was a turning point, revealing the extent of Marlon's manipulation. "He said we'd finally be free," Cassie sobbed. "Free to live the life we wanted, with the money to make it happen." She detailed how Marlon had preyed on her insecurities, promising love and a future together, while using her as a pawn in his scheme. Armed with Cassie's confession, investigators turned their attention to Marlon. His reaction was predictable. He denied everything, dismissing Cassie's statements as desperate lies concocted to shift blame. "She's making this up," he insisted. "I had nothing to do with it." But the evidence told a different story. Forensic experts had uncovered traces of the poison in Elaine's tea set and kitchen items, corroborating Cassie's account. Receipts for the poison, purchased under Cassie's name but funded by Marlon, were discovered, along with bank statements linking him to the transactions. Most damning of all were text messages exchanged between Marlon and Cassie, filled with coded language that, in context, clearly outlined their plan. In one message, Marlon wrote, "Stay patient. We'll have everything we want soon enough." The trial of Marlon Jones and Cassie Monroe drew intense public attention. The courtroom was packed with family members, neighbors, and media, all eager to see justice served. The prosecution presented a chilling narrative of premeditation and betrayal, supported by forensic evidence, Cassie's confession, and the testimony of Alia Carter. Alia's appearance on the stand was a pivotal moment. With quiet determination, she recounted her decades-long relationship with Elaine, sharing intimate details of her employer's kindness and the suffering she endured in her final months. Alia's observations of Marlon and Cassie's behavior in the lead-up to Elaine's death painted a damning picture of a calculated crime. Cassie's defense portrayed her as a manipulated victim, coerced into unspeakable acts by Marlon's charisma and control. Cassie herself wept openly throughout the trial, her regret palpable. "I didn't want to do it," she said through tears. "I thought he loved me. I thought this was the only way." Marlon, in contrast, remained cold and unrepentant, continuing to deny any involvement. But the jury saw through his lies. After hours of deliberation, they returned their verdict. Cassie was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Marlon was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole. Elaine's final act of resilience came to light when it was revealed that she had changed the beneficiary of her life insurance policy. Instead of Marlon or Cassie, Alia Carter, her loyal confidant, received the $1.7 million. This act ensured that neither Marlon nor Cassie profited from their betrayal. Marlon spent the rest of his life in bitter isolation, while Cassie, consumed by guilt, wrote countless letters to her mother, seeking forgiveness she would never receive. Elaine Monroe's death became a tragic yet powerful story of justice, resilience, and the unmasking of greed and betrayal. Her legacy challenges us to confront questions of loyalty, courage, and the pursuit of truth. Elaine's silence in life echoed powerfully in her death, ensuring that her voice was heard and justice was served. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel.